The flurry of commercial growth in the African continent continues. Here to tell us how local infrastructure and regional bodies are impacting economic development, Felix Bikpo. First, can you tell me how African Guarantee Fund differs from other guarantee funds in the continent?
The African Guarantee Fund is the first continental guarantee fund. All the others used to be regional. We want to try to harmonize the activity as much as we can of this guarantee fund to have something that makes sense. The African Guarantee Fund is different also because that's the first fund that was created based on the real need of the private sector, I mean the SME sector. Most of the time we're creating something for them, but they're not in line with the real need, and we're still struggling to get access to finance some other things.
Very interesting. Now, how can you have a scalable impact across Africa?
That's a good one. I like this question. At the end of the day, the most important thing is to know if what we are doing has a real impact on the SME, on the African economy. We at AGF trying to put in place what we call the monitoring and evaluation system to measure at each PLI, at each bank, each financial institution with which we partner to see how many SME did we help, how many jobs did we create, how this has an impact in each country. So I can answer to your question clearly. Give me 1 year and I can get back to you and give you a better answer.
Now, of course, at times there are conflicting interests between lenders and the SME sector. Tell me, how have your AGF products helped to address this concern?
I don't like talking about conflicting interests. In fact, I don't see that as a conflict of interest. It's just a question of being able to address the issue. The AGF products are tailored to address the major issue in terms of access to finance for the SME, is to see, is it possible that the banking sector is able to give them the real financing that they need? Most of the time is long-term financing. Banking sector is ready to finance the short-term, but don't know how to finance the long-term because we don't have enough long-term resources. So the product of AGF is trying to help this sector to transform the long-term resources that we have in abundance to long-term to be able to address this issue.
Now, sovereigns, of course, play an important role in being able to access funds such as yours. Do you think that sovereigns have done enough, sovereigns as well as the regulatory bodies really, have done enough to increase this access for middle-tier businesses?
A lot of things has been done, but unfortunately there is a long way to go, still a long way to go. Today, if you look at all the regulatory environments that we're having in the banking system, is more for big business, for big enterprise. So we need maybe to start thinking of how to create something that is more for the SME and not giving too much constraint to the banking system and the others, and be okay to finance them without taking too much risk. We're starting to have some discussion with some regulatory bodies everywhere in Africa. We're trying to pilot some think tank, and we believe that shortly something will come out and we'll be able to ease the regulatory environment, not ease in the sense that it's becoming worse, but in the sense is more adapted to the SME sector.
Now, foreign direct investment inflows to sub-Saharan Africa, of course, have been growing in the recent past. Questions have been raised as to whether these inflows are powering the right type of economic model. Felix, how do you respond to the argument that most of the FDI is geared towards consumption, thereby neglecting production?
That's totally correct. Africa is growing because of and bringing all this FDI, and we're happy for that. But this growth, fortunately or unfortunately, it depends on where we are, is being, the engine is the trade business, and this is not creating production. We need to look at how, with these FDIs and the local resources also, we can invest and create value. By investing, creating value, we're creating job, and when we're creating job, we're creating the wealth. We can tackle the poverty issues that we are facing. It's our role, our African institution, to help them and say, let's direct these resources to the right sector. And for me, the right sector is to create the production coming from the SME business, and this is where the future is.
Finally, Felix, what are some of the other key challenges that are unique to the SME sector in Africa?
Unfortunately, there are so many others, but let me just put these key areas. The first one is infrastructure. We can have a financing, okay, but if these SME don't have the appropriate infrastructure, nothing will happen. If there's no road to take my product to other cities, nothing will happen. So infrastructure, all type of infrastructure is a key obstacle for the emergence of SME. Access to market is also another issue, and the legal and regulatory environment has to be improved seriously. A lot of African governments are working on that, and a lot of it is being done, and we also need to help them to do a lot more.
Felix, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.